All right, hello everyone. Welcome to my Sunday stock watch. Now, this week is going to be a big one. We got a whole lot going on, so I'm not going to do too much analysis. It's going to be a short video because honestly, I don't know what the heck's going to happen this week. But let's get into the economic calendar because that is what is really important. So, Monday for us, we have no news, which means tomorrow we're going to have a slight uptrend and be choppy. I can tell you that already. Slightly a joke, but yeah. Then on Tuesday, we do have retail sales and then just a couple other news events that aren't going to be super impactful, so not much there. Then Wednesday, here comes Wednesday. We have the FOMC meeting, we have this interest rate decision. Most likely, they might be cutting interest rates. We'll see. I don't want to, obviously, I'm not going to be betting on anything like that because it is very unknown, but for the most part, they will be cutting interest rates. So the way the market will react to that will be very interesting. Depending on how the market takes it, if, you know, investors, obviously getting a rate cut is great because lowers prices, but can also be a sign of our economy showing cracks, and investors don't want to see that. So, really just going to take it day by day. No swing trades this week, not a whole lot. I'm just going to be pretty hands off still. But let's take a quick look at overnight market. So we've got um, right now we're pretty much flat compared to close on Friday. So not a whole lot there. I mean, Q's is up 4 cents. So, we can really just base it off of the chart because basically all names aren't up much, besides Tesla's already almost up a whole percent. So, that's a good amount. But yeah, mostly everything flat for the most part. So, yeah, anyways, let's get into some analysis going into this next week. Again, like I've already said, I really don't think the market's going to get a whole lot of movement Monday, Tuesday. That's just going to be the baseline of it. Wednesday, we might see some bullishness or we might be bearish pre Federal Reserve meeting, pre interest rate decision. Overall, it really just depends. So I'm just going to quickly go over, some areas that I think, we will trade at going into this next week. Obviously, QQQ made a new all-time high on Friday. So right now, that is our kind of next area that we're looking at is 587.86. So above there, I really have no analysis. We haven't seen that area. That was the all-time high. So we'll see if, obviously Fed rate decision, we can push up past the all-time high. Really just depends, but we'll see. And then also, let's just quickly look out to the 4 hour because the past couple of, days obviously are just straight bullish. But if for any reason we do get some downside, I would first look into that 580 area to break back below 580, because we only have been sitting up above 580 for a short while now. And then we took out those all-time highs, and then we just got a, crazy continuation, and now we're still sitting at the same area. So going into tomorrow, I do expect the market to chop and also make a slow grind up. So choppy move up is kind of what I'm expecting for tomorrow. And then same sort of deal with SPY. We took out all-time highs again and again. And this week, that's the area I'd be looking towards, all-time highs, 659.16. And then I would also be watching to see if we do break below this 654.80 range to 650. That's what this is the general range I would just watch for going into this next week, honestly. This range right here, from our previous kind of low area at this 651 range into 650 to that all-time high of 659. That's what I'd be watching for. Tesla, though, Tesla is a great name. I mean, it's obviously just been breaking out. Let's go to the daily chart. So if we can build and break above 400 and actually get a hold above there, I definitely expect this thing to just rip and continue up. I mean, this week, as long as all goes well, we could easily see 415 to 420, maybe into 430 is kind of what I'm looking for with Tesla. But if we do get over 400, no news Monday, Tuesday, we could probably see some chop just within that 400 range and not actually going to move up. That's one thing I would potentially be a bit worried for. Next couple of names that I'm watching going into this next week. Bitcoin will be really interesting. So, Bitcoin, Coinbase, MSTR, even Circle is a name that I've kind of been taking a look at since it made its way back up slightly. So, yeah, kind of from its IPO price, it was nearing IPO price and then it's made its way back up just a bit. And I either want to look for another rejection at 134 range on Circle, depending on where Bitcoin is moving. So, if Bitcoin gets another rejection at this, 116 to 117 range, Circle, I want to see another rejection at that area, and then get, a nice continuation, nice move down from there. But Circle is a super volatile stock as well, so keep that in mind. And MSTR actually probably won't take a look at. It's been trading quite awfully the past, couple of weeks or so. Like, this is not fun. You don't want to be trading within whatever the hell this is. So I wouldn't recommend that. But coin has been moving fairly nicely. We are still in the daily time frame. Let's drop into the 4 hours. So same sort of thing as Circle. If we can get a reject on Bitcoin, I would love to see coin retest this 330 area and get a reject from there. Or let's say, for example, Bitcoin heads lower and we get a bounce. I would love to see Coinbase head lower to 315 range to 313 and get a bounce from there. So really just depends. You could really play both sides of this. But again, I would expect us to be more choppy. And one thing that was slightly interesting to me was how much downside Netflix got on Friday and Thursday. So that was quite something for sure. So Netflix is definitely going to be on my list, either, looking for a bounce back at 180 range, even lower than there, or maybe we will head back up and get a reject. Yeah, so Netflix is still trading around the same price as, you know, Friday close. So not a whole lot there, but yeah, I'd be looking towards 180 to see a bounce, or we just continue downwards and break through that area. Palantir has been a fun one recently. It gave us a lot of great trades, but let's take a look at how it's trading overnight currently. So it is at 170.22. So again, not much of a change since Friday close. So one thing I would be expecting from it is either we do reach back up into this 172 to 175 range and we get a rejection from there, or we head lower and we get a bounce on 165. So that's the general range I'm looking at, is from that 175, 174, 175 into 165. This is the general range. I'm looking to play either side depending on what we get. So, a couple other names that I will be looking at. I was going to say Meta, but Meta hasn't been moving greatly either. I mean, not my favorite, but if we go into the 4 hour, it has been getting rejections off 765, 767 area. So, do be aware of that because we could head back up there into tomorrow and reject it maybe Tuesday, preparing for FOMC meeting. But that's really all that I'm taking a look at this next week. I really doubt I will be taking many trades Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Please, please, please size down. Please. This isn't a regular FOMC meeting. This isn't a regular interest rate decision. This is a time where we haven't seen a rate cut in a very long time. And, we are 90% sure we are going to get a rate cut, at least 25 basis points. Don't think 50, personally. That's just me. But I'm pretty sure we are going to get a 25 basis point cut. So please, please, please size down. This is very unpredictable. We do not know what the market is going to give us. We do not know what type of price action we're going to see. Especially if you're more of a beginner, size down or don't trade or paper trade. It's easy as that. Protect yourself. There are so many days that you could trade out of the year. Don't make this 1 week your worst week ever just because you couldn't stay off and you couldn't size down when I told you to. So please don't get burned. Be careful this week. But, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.